Hey y'all, welcome to the filling station, y'all. I'm super excited. So in this video, we are looking at inside day candles for 7/15, meaning if price breaks beyond this place, then this is our target, or if it breaks below this place, then this is our downside target. So let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues, y'all. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at Amazon. Amazon is our first inside day candle. So if Amazon breaks above 196.53, then the target to the upside is $200.34. Now, if it breaks under 193.76, then the target to the downside is 192.76. And keep in mind, it closed at 194.49, and we are under the 5 EMA. So it would definitely need to break above this 5 EMA, close above that. And again, we're looking at the daily chart in order for it to continue moving to the upside. So Amazon normally moves $4.55 per day. And again, that could be in either direction. Keep in mind, Fed Powell is speaking tomorrow, I do believe around 12:30. So the market can move in either direction. If you trade Amazon, I always say y'all trade carefully. So BMY, Bristol Myers, is an inside day. That is an inside week candle. So this is a weekly target, right? It normally moves 89 cents per day. So this target is, if it breaks above $41.63, then $42.31 is the target to the downside. Now, if it breaks under the $39.54, the target to the downside is here at $39.31. And it too is finding support here at the 5 EMA and resistance at the 20 EMA. Again, looking at it on the daily chart, right? And the total the amount that I just gave are, those targets are weekly targets. So I don't want to get that mixed up because we do have weekly and daily mixed together here. So Carnival Cruise Line, CCL, is also an inside week candle. If CCL breaks above $18.59, which we tested that, we're not far from that, right? And if we break above that, then the target to the upside is $18.74. If we break under the $17.30, then the target to the downside is $16.99. CCL normally moves 66 cents per day, again in either direction. We are above the 5 EMA, so we did get rejected here. So we can, it looks like it came down. Those sellers were right there. It could come down, find support, and then bounce, or we can continue declining. So I would always say trade carefully, right? So Coinbase, or COIN, Coin, is an inside day and an inside week. So this is going to be an interesting trade, right? So if it breaks above 221.99, then the target to the upside is 227.28, which is above all, the 550 EMA and the 20 EMA. That's interesting, right? So if it breaks under 214.59, then the target to the downside is 213.26. And we're already under the 5 EMA, which is interesting, right? So are we going to get, is the 5 EMA going to continue being our resistance or a rejection place for us, and we continue to the downside? That's something to watch, right? Coinbase normally moves about $10.46 per day. Again, that can be in either direction, up or down. So I would say trade carefully. Now let's look at it on a weekly basis, because it is an inside week candle also, right? So if it comes up and break above this 227.28, just know that the weekly target is 236.09 for Coinbase, right? 236.09. Now, if it breaks under this 213.26 area, then the target to the downside is 209.18. Again, that is a weekly target. So we have an inside day and an inside week target for Coinbase. So that should be rather interesting, right? So I'm going to set my alert for Coinbase. If it breaks above, let's say, if it breaks above 228.95, if we get above that area, then I would definitely watch it to the upside. And if we break, I would say around the 212.23 area, then I would set my alert to let me know that it's under a level of support. So again, it closed at 218.02. It can move in either direction, $10.46 up or down. If you trade Coinbase, I always say y'all trade carefully, right? CVX is an inside day candle. That means this is a daily target, right? So if it breaks above 156.43, then the target to the downside is 156.75. If it breaks under 154.52, then the target to the downside is 154.19. And CVX normally moves $2.38 per day, again in either direction. It closed at 155.59. So is it going to come back and find support on this 5 EMA? That's something to be mindful of. So if you trade CVX, I would always say watch those levels and trade carefully, right? Delta Airlines is also an inside day candle. Delta normally moves $1.42 per day. It closed at $43.62. So if it breaks above $44.90, then the target to the upside is here at $45.09, right? So if it breaks under the 43.51 area, then 42.12 is going to be our target to the downside. What's interesting is it got rejected at this 200 EMA, and yeah, we're having some issues in that area. So we could very well come back and retest this 45.35, which will be our trigger and target together. So that's something to be mindful of, Delta Airlines. And if you trade Delta, I always say y'all trade carefully, wait on confirmation before you enter your trades. Macy's is also an inside day candle and an inside week candle. So Macy's is another one that's going to be interesting to watch this week, right? So if it breaks above 1961, then the target to the upside is 1972. If it breaks under 1906, the target to the downside is 1898, and that is for the day, right? That's a daily target. So Macy's normally move 80 cents per day. It closed at $19.09. That's interesting, right? So it is also an inside week candle, meaning if by chance we come up to this 1972, which I'm going to set an alert at that area, if it breaks above the 1972, then the target to the upside is $20.48. Just know, looking at it on this daily chart, right, we are definitely going to have trouble at this $20.17 area. Now, to the downside, if by chance we come down and break under this level of, let's see, $18.98. If we break under this level, the target to the downside is $17.75. Again, that is a weekly target, so I'm definitely going to set an alert or under that $18.98 area to let me know that if Macy's by chance break that area, we can come back down to the $17.75. So again, Macy's normally move about 80 cents per day. Again, that could be in either direction. It is an inside day and an inside week candle, so that's something to be mindful of. So let's see, Microsoft is an inside week and an inside day. So Microsoft is going to be interesting to watch also. Let's look at, and those numbers are really, really close together. So I'm going to see. Okay, so if Microsoft breaks above 466.50, then the target to the upside is 467.46. Now, if by chance it break under 458.75, the target to the downside is 457.86, and this is a daily target, right? Now let's look at the weekly target. If by chance we break above this 467.46, then the target to the upside is 468.50. If it breaks under this area here of 457.86, then the target to the downside is 445.48. And Microsoft normally moves $7.22 per day. It did close at 453.55. We are under the 5 EMA. We've come down and tested this 20 EMA twice. Looking at it on this daily chart, are we going to get rejected and continue down? It looks like it's breaking out of a gathering spot, so that's something to be mindful of. I would definitely pay attention to that area. If you trade Microsoft, I always say y'all trade carefully. It looks like it's coming, back to the downside. So I'm going to set an alert here around the 449.94 area just to let me know that Microsoft is under a level of support, and it could very well come down and reach this weekly target of 445.48. Just know that we will find support at the ATR trailing stop at 440.85 or at the 50 EMA at 438.42, and that is for Microsoft. So Micron is an inside day and an inside week. I love this. So if Micron or MU breaks above 134.50, then the target to the upside is 136.48. If by chance we break under 130.55, then the target to the downside is here at 130.01. And Micron or MU normally moves about $5.08 per day, and again, that's in either direction. Now let's look at it on a weekly target. So if by chance we break above this area of 136.48, we have a weekly target of 137.11. And if we break under if we break under 129.74 or the 130 area, let's say the 130, if we break under the 130 area here, 130.01, then the target to the downside would be the 127.14, and that is for MU. So MU is an inside week candle and an inside day candle. Again, it moves $5.08 per day in either direction. It did close at 133.55, and we are creating a gathering spot here, right? So it can move in either direction. I'm going to set my alert to let me know if it break above 138.57, just to let me know it has broken through a level of resistance. And I'm going to set my alert to the downside if it breaks under this. I'm going to put it at 128 or 129.87 area. If we break under that area, that means we could very well move to the downside. So yeah, if you trade MU, I always say y'all just trade carefully. I would definitely watch those levels. And I don't think that NVIDIA is an inside day. Let me see. It is an inside day candle, which is interesting. And I know those, I'm going to clean this up. This is previous support and resistance areas, and it just helps me to let me know where I'm going to have trouble. So, right, NVIDIA is an inside day candle. If it breaks above the 191.92, then the target to the upside is here at 135.67. If by chance we break under 127.22, then the target to the downside is 126.45, and that is NVIDIA. NVIDIA right now is moving $5.60 on average per day, right? So right now it closed at 129.24, and it too seems like it's creating a gathering spot for us. So it can move in either direction. That $5.60. I always say, if you trade NVIDIA, trade carefully. Pfizer or PFE is an inside day candle. So if by chance it breaks above $29.14, then the target to the upside is $29.24. If it breaks under the 28.77, then the 28.41 is the target. And again, it could move in either direction. It normally moves about 61 cents per day. It closed at $28.92, and right now we could move up and get rejected here. This ATR trailing stop, again, we're looking at the daily chart, and it could move in either direction. It seemed like it broke out of a gathering spot only to come up here and get rejected. So if we continue climbing, just know that 29.45 for Pfizer is going to be an issue. It's going to be a trouble place, right? If you trade Pfizer, I say trade carefully. PayPal, no, that's Palantir. Palantir is an inside day candle, and so is PayPal, but we'll look at Palantir since it was first, right? So Palantir PLTR, yeah, let me get my words right. $28.13. If it breaks above that, then $28.60 is the target. If it break under the 27.28 area, then 26.88 is the target to the downside. And Palantir normally moves about 98 cents per day. It did close at 28.07, and it too looks like it's just creating a gathering spot for us, right? So if you trade Palantir, I always say y'all trade carefully. It's been moving up. We are above the 5 EMA. Are we going to continue climbing, or are we going to have an interesting day to the downside, right? That's something to be mindful of. PayPal is an inside day candle, and if it breaks above $60.53, then the target to the upside is $60.94. If we break under $59.77, then $59.40 is our target to the downside. And PayPal normally moves about $1.24 per day. It closed at $60.27, and we are above the 5 EMA and the 20 EMA. So I would definitely say if I traded PayPal, I would trade carefully today. It's running out. It's breaking out of a gathering spot, or it broke out of a gathering spot looking at it on this daily chart. And we did have an move to the upside, but it got rejected, and it looks like, are we going to find support and continue moving up, or are we going to get rejected and come back to the downside? That's something to be mindful of. QQQ is an inside day candle, right? If it breaks above 499.69, then 503.52 is the target. If we break under 491.94, then the target to the downside is here at 490.51. And QQQ normally moves $5.93, and again, in either direction, we are under the 5 EMA. So that is our resistance as of right now. Again, it could move that 593 in either direction. It could move up or down. It did close at 494.82. So that's something to be mindful of, right? So being that it closed at 494.82, we can move all the way up to 503.52. So I would say if I trade QQQ, trade carefully. SQQQ is also an inside day candle, and if it breaks above the 766 area, then the target to the upside is 770. If it breaks under the 729, then the target to the downside is 715. SQQQ normally moves about 29 cents per day, and again, that is in either direction. And we have one more inside day candle for 715, and that is Wolf, WOOF, or Petco. If by chance we break above, let's see, $3.69, and $3.70 is the target, which is really not that far. If by chance we break under $3.43, then $3.32 is the target to the downside. We did close at $3.43. It normally moves about 33 cents per day, again in either direction. So y'all, these are inside day and inside week candles for 715, starting with 715. Let me say that. And normally I set alerts to let me know that it has reached this area and this is the possible target. And if it breaks under this area, I set an alert to let me know that we've fallen, we dropped, and we came down under support, and right now this is our target to the downside. So I hope these videos are very, very helpful. Nothing is guaranteed in the market. Let me say that. Anything is possible, but nothing is guaranteed. I'll definitely mark those levels, and I always say, y'all, trade what you see. Don't rush into your trades. Allow your charts to show you exactly what it's trying to do, and learning how to read the charts is very, very important. I can't say that enough, but make sure you have confirmation as to why you're entering your trades, and when it goes against your why, get out. I always say, live to trade another day, right? So again, I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day. And y'all know I always like to leave you with this, right? Be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.